Good morning. Welcome to Ramblin' Deano's Coffee and a Song. Great to have you here as always on this fine Tuesday morning. Another beautiful sunny day here in West Allis, Wisconsin. It's been a little cooler than it was, so nice to not be so sweaty for a change. I guess the big event in my life in the last day was the arrival of my fabulous Black Lives Matter Black Sabbath t-shirt directly from Black Sabbath. I'm not going to play a Black Sabbath song for you today, but it's funny. I've talked to Joe about this in the past, that when I went to high school in kind of a rural / suburban area, Muskego, Wisconsin, the kids were separated into these social cliques, and you had the jocks who kind of who their musical taste leaned towards more kind of mainstream FM rock, like REO Speedwagon or Styx or things like that. And then you had nerds like me that started off listening, started high school probably listening to prog rock and things that we thought were intellectual, but then drifted into punk rock and new wave a little later. And then you had these burnout kids, and the burnout kids were the ones that I always associated with being Black Sabbath fans, along with AC/DC and Led Zeppelin. That was like the trio of bands that these stoner kids would listen to. And back in those days, I thought of that music as kind of music for losers, quite honestly. And it took me into adult life before I realized how cool that music was and how much I missed out on. But back then, when I started getting into bands that had a social conscience like the Clash and whatnot, it would have seemed impossible to imagine that Black Sabbath would be a band that did something like this, that all the proceeds for these shirts went to Black Lives Matter. So a pretty cool thing that a band that it really wasn't exactly apolitical, it just expressed it in a really, really primitive way, like War Pigs and things of that nature. Primitive but true. Primitive but effective. But anyway, I'm really pleased with my new T-shirt. So I will wear it proudly. Anyway, so as I alluded to yesterday, I said maybe I'll attempt to write a novelty song for today's show, and that's just what I did. And I have to run errands around Milwaukee for the job I do for my dad's business. So we repair old cars, mostly fun stuff like Jaguars and things of that nature. But it requires occasional trips to the hardware store, the auto parts store, various other places for us to get the supplies to get our work done. And so besides my own routine, which really only involves the grocery store and the liquor store these days, I do get out and about, and the whole issue of wearing masks is really one that drives me kind of bonkers. It seems like such a simple, painless way that we could all help each other out, yet so many people seem so unwilling to bother, and to me that's just pure selfishness. Worst case scenario, arrogance, I guess. But so I wrote a song about that subject, and musically and lyrically, somewhat trying to see some humor in it, I guess. But it's a jaunty little number that I call "You'd Look Better Wearing a Mask." All right. Well, you're driving around all over town like it's 2019. Well, it's 2020, and listen, honey, I don't need you breathing on me. Either stay in one place or cover up your face. Is that too much to ask? I don't mean to be rude, but I'm thinking that you would look better wearing a mask. Maybe you saw a meme that says you can't breathe when you're wearing PPE. Or libertarian dopes with their slippery slopes sold you on conspiracy. Although it makes you feel free not to care about me, you seem willing to wear your foil hat. I got nothing to barter, I just think you'd look smarter if you were wearing a mask. You'd look better in a mask, and I don't say that smugly. If you don't start wearing a mask, things are gonna get ugly. Yeah, either stay in one place or cover up your face. Is that too much to ask? I don't mean to be rude, but I'm thinking that you would look better wearing a mask. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm thinking that you would look better wearing a mask. You'd look better wearing a mask. Well, that's the new song for today. I'd like to thank you all for joining me as always. Try and encourage at least friends and family that you're close enough to that maybe they would actually take your advice, that this is a really sensible thing for everybody to be doing. I know that there's some people out there that are convinced that somehow it's a Bill Gates, Soros 5G plot to take away their freedoms and install a Sharia law socialist state. But it's really pretty simple. If that crap coming out of your mouth doesn't come in contact with somebody else, we'll all be better off. So thanks for joining me as always. And I hope to see you here tomorrow, and I hope to see you here every day. As always, stay safe, stay sane, stay home if you can, and wear your mask. And I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.